Okay, hello. I'm Molly.
And I'm Gus.
Today we are going to be talking about content resizing. And content resizing is basically like the settings for what happens when your website gets smaller and then larger. So I wanted to use this site as an example, River House. This one is using left aligned content resizing. If you're building in the mobile app, going between the options for content resizing, your site will probably look pretty similar. It's the desktop thing that's going to change. So, a centered one, and let's say I keep my gutters kind of the same. So, if I do this and I hit publish, the mobile site looks pretty much similar, but if I refresh this like text has moved over to the center. And when I make it smaller, it's going to grow like this instead of
hmm
having all the text be aligned to the left edge of the screen.
How did you make the image to fill up the whole space?
In this case, I dragged the image block into the gutter, which is something that you can do now. So, like, I might normally set an image to be within the gutter, but because I knew I wanted this image to go from the left edge of the window to the right edge of the window, I decided to pull it out into the gutter here. Because
hmm
otherwise, let's say I pull it in and I publish the page, it will look more like this,
Right.
especially with the centered content. Um, Basically, because this like left and right negative space here, what you're seeing is the gutter.
So with that said, don't be afraid to use gutter space.
And don't be afraid to use the gutter space. Yeah, it can be really cool. So you can play around with this stuff, like the centered alignment, the full width, the aligned. I'll just quickly show what it looks like when you do full width. So full width means that when your content resizes, it will go pretty much to the edge, but you can set these gutters. So
hmm
say I do large again, and you can see when I toggle between large, medium, and small in the preview behind, like that dotted pattern, which is showing the gutter of the site, increases or decreases. So let's say I do a medium gutter and full width. So now I'm gonna publish this site here. And as you can see on mobile, it kind of pretty much looks the same. But when I refresh it here, you'll just see that the text kind of scales up slightly bigger and it's
hmm
going almost to the edge of the screen here. That look, I think that looks like okay, but I still
hmm
think that my original content resizing looked better. So I'm gonna shift it back to that. I'm gonna go left aligned. You could do right aligned also, which would just mean that the content's sticking to the right side of the window instead of the left. But I'm gonna do left. And then medium. So I'm gonna switch it back to this. I'll preview it here again, but it's gonna look the same. So this looks the same pretty much, but then when I refresh it, I'm back to my nice left aligned uh, layout where on desktop, everything is like tied to this left edge, um,
hmm
except for the image, which is in the gutters. And then when I scale it down, it acts like this. So that is kind of content resizing. And I think it's just like good to play around with. This is like another instance where it's kind of good to go between like your phone and then like a computer if you can. Um, just to see how it's like specifically affecting the content of your site. Um,
Yeah, the
yeah,
changes is definitely a little more drastic and evident when you see it
on
on
desk.
the desktop.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I
Yeah,
agree.
for mobile, it's like when you're editing in the mobile, the changes don't seem to make that big of a difference. So yeah, that's you'd see it more in the desktop stuff. I think if you wanted things to pretty much stay close to mobile, maybe the like centered option would be the best, and you'd
Yeah,
just kind of like get used to this idea of having sort of like blank space on the left and right. And this one, I don't know, it feels nice to have the text like be really contained, but then have the images be super wide. And I think it
yeah,
like worked because it was sort of like an illustrative style. But like on the text only pages, for example, it still feels really nice. I feel like it's
yeah,
kind of sophisticated, this type of alignment.
yeah. Left align, great for text, easily
Yeah.
readable.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I would use this for like a blog also.
Definitely.
Yeah.